Alrighty, welcome back to Christian's Sports Podcast, episode number 5. There's a lot to talk about today with the coaches firing, especially John Harbaugh being fired. Cliff Kingsbury getting let go, even though it was a mutual parting. We got college football playoff preview, a couple things I wanted to hit on the transfer portal. I think the transfer portal is a mess, and a couple people are getting hired that are interviewed that I just have no idea why they're getting interviewed. It makes no sense. But we'll start off with the college football playoff though, because that's for Miami. We got Miami, Ole Miss tomorrow. Oregon, Indiana on Friday. Both should be great games. I'm super excited about both of them. The college football playoff since they expanded it has been just awesome. I thought this year started off a little slow, but then that Ole Miss game kind of saved it. I thought. That Ole Miss game was awesome. If you checked out the episode when we were talking about it, I was so happy that we had a good game that weekend. But yeah, let's just dive right into it and start with Miami and Ole Miss. Miami is a 3.5-point favorite. I'm not surprised there. I think Miami has the edge in this game. I'm picking Miami to probably win. As much as I want Ole Miss to win, I think they're a great story. I think it would be good for college football if they won. I like their quarterback a lot. I like someone on the defensive line, the big 6'8" dude Harris. That guy's awesome, and and their running back is good. Has a little bit of a fumbling problem. Their running back, I'm sure Miami's defense will definitely try to exploit that. And all their receivers are good. On Ole Miss as well. I think they're all entertaining to watch, especially their tight end too. I mean, he made that big stupid play last week where he didn't run out of bounds, but I mean, he's a good player. But yeah, I have Miami in this game. Miami has the edge really everywhere except quarterback, running back, and tight end. I think their receivers are pretty equal on offense. Miami's offensive line is way better than Ole Miss's offensive line. Miami's offensive line has just a bunch of dudes. There'll probably be a couple of guys that get drafted. I think their weight average was like 325 or 350, somewhere between there, which is crazy. That's a big boy offensive line right there. And Ole Miss's defensive line is big and strong and fast and stuff like that too, but, I just don't know how much they're going to be able to get home on the quarterback with that offensive line. I mean, they're great. They're good. That's about it on Ole Miss's defense. It's good. The Ole Miss's defense line is good, but everybody else just isn't that good. I did a little bit like a spreadsheet here and see what positions were better, and I mean, Ole Miss is pretty much only better at quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight end. But Miami's better at offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, defensive backs. Ole Miss's kicker is a weapon. I mean, that guy's awesome. He was drilling 56-yarders, 55-yarders last week against Georgia. I mean, that guy's awesome. He's going to be definitely an NFL kicker. I think Miami's defensive line is just going to be way too impactful, way too strong, way too big for Ole Miss's offensive line. I think Ole Miss's offensive line isn't that bad. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I don't like Carson Beck at all. I don't think he's very good. I don't think he's very reliable. I think he's a turnover waiting to happen. I think he's kind of soft. But they did beat Ohio State. I mean, that speaks for itself. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have Miami winning this game. I would say it's probably going to be close. I wouldn't be surprised if Ole Miss won. Like, it wouldn't shock me like last week did. I thought Ole Miss last week had no chance against Georgia, but yeah, I hope Chambliss has a good game. I hope the Miami defense doesn't just shut him down, because Chambliss, I really like him. I think he's a good quarterback. We all saw he signed a deal with Ole Miss, even though he might not even be able to play next year, just because he already had played 5 years. He did a sixth-year waiver, but we'll see if it goes through. I mean, it still hasn't gone through yet, but I mean, he was on ESPN and stuff like that last night for signing that deal, and Scott Van Pelt was talking to him about it and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it should be an interesting game. Should be a fun game to watch. I think Miami also on defense. Yes, everybody talks about their defensive line, but they've spent. I mean, they're as good as you get in this NIL era with spending money. Like they've spent some of the most money. They have some of the best dudes on defense and on offense. Their quarterback's just not. I don't think it is really it. But we said the same thing about Notre Dame last year and Riley Leonard, and then they made it to the national championship. So you know, wouldn't be surprised if Miami won. Like I said, I'm picking them to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ole Miss won either. Just because that quarterback's so good, and that defensive line is pretty good. So maybe they can slow down the run a little bit, and maybe they make Carson Beck pass, and maybe that slows down the game a little bit. But yeah, I think that it's a better story for college football if Ole Miss wins without Lane Kiffin, persevering through having an interim coach and all the noise and all these rumors of maybe Lacey goes to LSU or Chambliss goes to LSU or something like that. But I also think it makes Lane Kiffin look so bad if Ole Miss just keeps winning as well too. And that's also a good story. Like I said before, I like Lane Kiffin, but I don't think it's really his fault that he had to leave Ole Miss right now. Like he said, he wanted to coach, but I don't know. And everybody out there saying there's no way you can let him coach, no way you can let him coach. But Ole Miss is kind of a loser franchise, college franchise, and I would have just let him coach. I mean, I can see why they'd be pissed, and I can see why they're not letting him coach. That's their decision. Totally respect that. I can see both sides on this, but they're letting all their other coaches coach that are already going to LSU, like the running back coach and Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator, and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think it should be probably a little bit of a low scoring game, if not in the 20s maybe. I can see it being a 24-23 game or 21-17 game, something like that. I think it's going to be probably very defensive, even though Ole Miss defense really isn't that good. But they slowed down Georgia a little bit. Georgia wouldn't have scored as many points if they didn't have a fumble touchdown. It wouldn't have been as high scoring, but hopefully they can get some stops. And I like a defensive game. I don't love the whole high scoring games. I like when it's 21-17, stuff like that. I like those games. So hopefully it's like that. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yeah, and then we'll move on to the next game. Is Oregon and Indiana. Indiana is favored by 3.5. I don't think anybody is picking against them. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I don't count out Oregon right now just because Indiana is very good. They have the number one pick. They have a really good coach and stuff like that. But I like Dan Lanning a lot. I think that Oregon will be playing Wright State, and Dan Lanning will still be motivating the guys to his team and be saying, no one thinks they're going to win. They have no chance and stuff like that. But now they're actually underdogs, and we'll see what happens. I definitely think that it could be a close game. I think it could be a defensive game. Oregon's defense is very, very good, if not as good as Indiana's defense. Indiana's defense is very good as well. Oregon's out without their starting running back too. Yeah, I think that that's a big loss, I think. I mean, I feel like Oregon has so many injuries, too. They've had so many guys in and out of the lineup all year long. Dante Moore has been, they played Texas Tech last week, and Dante Moore, that defense, he struggled a little bit. I wouldn't say he was bad. I mean, he definitely struggled, but, I think that if he has a good game, I think they could stay in it. I wouldn't say win. I think Indiana will win just because they're so good at everything and running. They're so good at running the ball, so good at passing, so good at defense, so good at hitting. They're physical. But you could say the same thing about Oregon. I think it's a very more evenly matched on paper than people think. I think it'll be a close game. I mean, the 3.5. I think it could be a 3-point game. It could be a field goal game. Really. So maybe take the points. But yeah, I'm interested to see if Mendoza still is on his heater and Scinetti is still on his heater, or not. But yeah, should be a fun game to watch. Um, I think that if Oregon can't run the ball, and I don't think they will be able to without their running back and all their injuries they have and stuff like that, then they're going to have to rely on Dante Moore, and Dante Moore is going to have to put the cape on, and we'll see what happens with that. Like I said last week, he kind of had a weird game a little bit because Texas Tech's defense is very, very good, very good. They just can't do anything on offense at all. That's why they got shut out. But I definitely got, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick Oregon. Oregon's going to win. Oregon's going to win by a field goal. Definitely going to be not. I wouldn't bet on it. I'm not much of a bettor anyways. In Nebraska, it's not legal here, but maybe it is, and I don't know. I don't think it is. I've tried doing it before a long time ago. It didn't let me, but yeah, I like an underdog story. It'll be cool if Oregon won, and it'd be cool if Oregon won, but it'd also be cool if Indiana won. Like I think out of these two teams, these are the two teams I want to win the national championship is Oregon and Indiana. So whoever wins this game, I'll be rooting for. I do like both the coaches a lot. Like I don't know, like it's hard for me to pick because I think both these teams are entertaining. But like yeah, I'll just pick Oregon because maybe Dante Moore. I have a little confidence that Dante Moore is going to come out and show that maybe he's the number one pick next year. I think that this year, it looks like since Oregon's there's rumors of them trying to get Raiola from Nebraska out of the portal. I mean, good luck with that. I mean, I'm a Nebraska fan. I live here in Nebraska. I mean, he's so overrated. Good luck with that. But maybe, but I thought the same thing about Bo Nixon. He played good in Oregon too. But I don't know. Yeah, so maybe sounds like that they know that Dante Moore's going to declare. But yeah, so I got Oregon. I think Oregon's going to show out. I think their defense is going to hang in there. Last time they played, I think that'll be chip on their shoulder too, because Indiana went into Autzen in Oregon, in Eugene, and won. And that was a great game, crazy game. And Mendoza threw that. One thing I'll say about that game too, a while ago, is Mendoza threw that pick six, and you thought maybe they would crumble, and Mendoza just came right back and was playing great. Was playing so good. That was a great game. I hope it's something like that again. But yeah, so I got Oregon. Now we're talking about college. There was something that's bothering me. It's one, why is the transfer portal open right now? This happens in college basketball and college football. The portal is open during the postseason. Why are we doing that? Why? It's stupid. Close the portal down when the season's happening. It just makes no sense. It just makes zero sense. None. Wait until the end of the year. Have the portal open, I don't know, February 1st to February 1st to April 1st. 2 months, and then all the guys can enter, all the guys can commit, and or open until spring practice or something like that. Like, I hate the way they're doing it right now because you got players that are, like Ole Miss's backup quarterback is in the transfer portal and committed to Missouri already, but I think he's still on the roster somehow. I don't know how that makes sense, but it makes no sense. It doesn't. Like, why? Who came up with they should have came up with it from the start. I don't know why it's been 2, 3, 4, 5 years during this transfer portal era that now it's like this. And you got players like Kenny Machini. His last name's weird, but he was a Notre Dame backup quarterback for 3 years. He lost his job to Riley Leonard, and then he never got it back to. And then Riley Leonard, he was all right. I mean, he's not that good. And then C.J. Carr this last year beat him out. He was pretty good, and he committed to Nebraska. And then 4 days later, he flips to Kentucky. Nebraska's so bad that players want to go to Kentucky, but I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, he got tampered with, and someone flipped him. Same as Desmond Williams at Washington. I mean, he's going to be the starting quarterback. He's going to probably get a bunch of money, maybe I'm hearing $6 to $7 million, and he's probably going to go to LSU. He entered the transfer portal, but he signed a deal with the team and the team intends on enforcing it. And his contract with the team was $5 million. So he signed that a couple days ago as well. I think he also signed that on Friday, and then did the same thing as McChinney did 4 days later enters the portal. But how can you do that? How is that allowed? He signed a contract, so why is he allowed to play still for another team next year? He shouldn't be allowed to play for another team next year. But he's getting tampered with. Obviously, Kiffin is, reports out there that he's probably going to go to LSU, or maybe Sam Levitt goes there before he does, but he signed a deal. I don't care if you get tampered with. You shouldn't be able to back out of it. Tamper with him all you want. He signed that deal. He has to go there. You committed to go there. You said, yes, I'm going to play for you. You wrote it down on the dotted line. What else do you need to do to keep a player now? That's ridiculous. It's crazy. I feel bad for teams like Washington, where they're a big time school now, but I'm not sure how much funds they have and stuff like that. I'm really not sure. They could have a lot. For all I know, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And there's a couple storylines out there for head coaches, NFL head coaches. I saw Thomas Brown on the Patriots. He was with the Rams for a long time. Then he was the interim coach last year with Caleb Williams. He's the quarterback coach the passing game coordinator right now for the Patriots, and he's going to go hire. He's going to go interview at Arizona, and I think that's one. No, he probably won't get hired during this cycle. The only reason why I wanted to talk about this because, you saw Jonathan Gannon got hired by Arizona, and what are you supposed to do with Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback? That just has failure written all over it. And if I was him, I know it's a head coaching job, and I know if he got offered it, he wouldn't say no. I wouldn't either. But it's not a good idea for him, to take that job because it's just quarterback purgatory. He's going to be stuck there. I mean, he's going to be blamed for everything when Kyler Murray doesn't do good, or when Jacoby Brissett doesn't do good, or the quarterback, whoever they have as quarterback, doesn't do good. He's going to get blamed for that, and it's not really his fault. Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, Jonathan Gannon could have been a great coach. I don't think he would have been, but you never know when you have Kyler Murray as your quarterback. You never know. But yeah, I mean, and then you saw Cliff Kingsbury leave. He left Washington, and I read the reports. It sounded like they mutually part ways. Then I read it again, and it was like, oh, maybe he left, but no, he got fired, and I guess the players there are pissed. Like Jaden Daniels and all of them are really mad about it. Like, why are you guys mad about that? He's not a good coordinator. Last year they caught lightning in a bottle. They were like 95% on fourth down, which was like unheard of, and it will never happen again. They had a lot of luck last year. And you see him, he's going to interview for head coaching jobs, guys. Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? Is this the same Cliff Kingsbury that started like 8-0 with the Cardinals, then lost like the rest of his games? Like, and I don't know. And the same coordinator that kept running Jaden Daniels, even though he clearly can't stay healthy when he runs. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, guys, NFL, you're better than that. You know that. But but since the NFLs are just about recycling coaches and just coaches coming in, coming out, the same faces again and again and again, that he's probably going to get a job again and probably offensive coordinator. I don't see head coach. I mean, maybe the Titans or some like stupid team like that does it. But the Titans are also going to interview Jason Garrett. And when I read that, I went, is this the same Jason Garrett we're talking about here? The guy who coached the Cowboys and was a horrible coach, and now he's even worse on TV on NBC on Sunday Night Football, like that. What are we doing, Titans? I know you guys are a terrible franchise. I know you guys are awful, and I know you have been in the dumps since Mike Vrabel left. But guys, Jason Garrett, it might as well just keep the interim coach now, Mike McCoy. He's just as. I bet Mike McCoy's better than that. Jason Garrett doesn't know his ass from his elbow when he's coaching football. He's awful. He's an awful coach. The only reason why he kept him for so long because he kissed Jerry Jones's butt and just wanted the job, wanted the big time money. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, smart on Jason Garrett, but he's an awful coach. So if you're the Titans, you cannot hire him. I mean, why are you even interviewing him? massive waste of time. Did he like? Does he know the owner? Is he friends with the owner? Is he friends with the GM or something like that? Is he, you know, I don't know, like in-law, brother-in-law or something like that to the owner or something? I don't know. He has to be or something, or he has some dirt on the owner saying he'll blackmail him or something. I don't know. There's no way Jason Garrett should be hired as a coach. But yeah, we also saw Rivers. What's his name? I want to say Derek Rivers. I don't know why. Philip Rivers. Jeez, sorry, brain fart. It's been a long day. Philip Rivers wants to be a head coach, and I actually think he would be probably a pretty good head coach. He said he could coach on any level. He's already coaching high school now. He was I'd say a pretty good football player. I mean, I don't think he's a great football player, but he's pretty good. His arm just isn't that good. But yeah, I think he'd be a pretty good offensive coach. I think a lot of he seems like that Mike Vrabel type guy, where like, you know, team guy, players would gravitate him to a little bit. He's probably smart with offense. He's always been around Shane Steichen, and Shane Steichen I think is a pretty good offensive mind. I mean, he's not really good at developing quarterbacks, obviously, with Anthony Richardson, but I don't think anybody would be able to develop Anthony Richardson. But yeah, I think that Philip Rivers would be a great head coach, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But the problem is he committed to do this 365 days of the year, and you know, there's no days off and stuff like that. I know he has like a bajillion kids, and he's a kid in high school that's about to be a really top recruit in college for a quarterback. Is he gonna have a half his head into it because he's all these kids and wants to focus on their life and stuff like that? I wouldn't blame him if he wanted to. That's okay, but you know, are you committed to the long run to do this all year long? You have to be a psycho about this. I know he's a psycho, obviously, for about football, because he came back and played, even though he's a fat, out of shape kind of slob a little bit, and had no business being in there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the Colts have done some crazy stuff over the years, especially when they brought back like Jeff Saturday as their interim coach. Like, oh my God, what are the Colts doing? But yeah, and the last and final story I'll talk about is, you know, John Harbaugh. I've been talking about him for a while now, saying that, you know, I could see him getting fired, and then it actually happened, and I was like, why am I surprised? I was still caught off guard and very surprised at it. I mean, he was there for 18 years. They're in the playoffs a lot. I felt like they're in the playoffs a lot. When they missed the playoffs too, it was always like something crazy or something happened. The way they lose is always something crazy, or it's never just they lose or outgunned or something like that. But supposedly he was fired because, you know, refused to move on from the offense coordinator Todd Monken. Him and Todd Monken were kind of seemed like a package deal at the end there, even though I don't know, the owner said that was mad at the playoff success. He said that he wasn't really too happy about the results the last couple of years of the playoff success, even though their team was very good, and you know, they could have. I'm surprised they haven't won a Super Bowl in the last couple of years with Lamar. They just have choked in the playoffs. Lamar hasn't been good. I don't think Harbaugh has been very good in the playoffs either. Supposedly he lost the locker room as well, and players had doubts that they wanted to play with him anymore. If he kept on coaching, like, I think that's specifically talking about Lamar. You know, him and Lamar supposedly had beef, but you know, John Harbaugh shot that down, like right away. I felt like, you know, you saw those reports of Lamar falling asleep in meetings, and you know, they moved the practice times to later for him because he didn't want to wake up early and all this stuff, which I believe, honestly, I believe. I didn't think Lamar was like that. I thought everybody loved him, really. You never hear anybody say anything bad about him in the Ravens organization at all. So that was definitely surprising for me. But yeah, I mean, you got to choose the quarterback over the coach in that scenario. You're not going to be able to find another Lamar Jackson in the draft. You can't. And you know, maybe John Harbaugh, maybe they hire like Kevin Stefanski or something like that, and you know, the offensive-minded coach or something like that. You know, John Harbaugh really relied on his coordinator, so he didn't call the offense or the defense. I mean, he wasn't. I feel like he's kind of lost it a little bit, but you know, he'll definitely be good for a team like the Giants. You know, he's definitely a big market coach. I mean, I would say he lost a step. I would say maybe just he needed a new situation. He needed a fresh start. I could say the same thing about Tomlin, but they'll never fire him or get rid of him. Um, and yeah, my first reaction was like surprise still, even though I've been calling it, saying it should be coming. Um, yeah, I mean, he'll have a ton of interest. I think every team will probably want to hire him. I mean, he definitely won't go coach the Tennessee Titans or the Arizona Cardinals. I think he'll pick up like a team like the Giants with they have a quarterback, or maybe the Raiders. I mean, I don't think so. I think their organization is too bad for him, to be honest. But maybe he goes to the Raiders. I don't know. I'd be surprised. But yeah, just a little bit of a short episode today. Um, I got a lot of things out of the way that I wanted to talk about. There wasn't too much news going on. I'll have an episode on either Friday or Saturday previewing the playoffs. I'm super excited about the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be great, especially as a Patriots fan. I think I'm very nervous about it. Everybody thinks we're going to blow out the Chargers, and the only result that's a lock is that the Panthers lose against the Rams. That's the only result that's a lock. But yeah, we'll see what happens. If there's more things to talk about and some breaking news that comes out or something like that, we'll go live and we'll talk about it and give you guys that content. But yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's definitely a little bit of a short episode today, but I'll talk to you guys next time and have a good rest of your week. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And yeah. And also a quick funny story. I want to do like these little funny stories and stuff like that at the end, or maybe like I don't know, something to keep you guys entertained. But today, my wife is like super into like the crunchy stuff, and I am too. But she's super into crunchy stuff like that. And yesterday she went to a meat market that we have near our house. It's called Mercados, and she bought cow bones. Yes, she bought cow bones, and in the cow bones there's marrow, and she took out the marrow, she cooked the marrow and stuff like that, and my son has 2 teeth coming in, so you can start doing some solids. But you have to start with kind of like a puree, like applesauce texture type thing first, so he can get used to it and stuff like that. So my wife cooked the marrow with some butter and stuff like that, and put it in the fridge, turned it into like sort of like a paste butter type thing. It's like not too thick or chunky or anything like that. But yeah, so we gave it to Roman today, and it was funny. He was making all these like weird faces, like what is this? Like I'm not sure about this, and it was funny because bone marrow. You think of like this fancy, luxurious thing, and it's my son's first real human food other than milk, which is crazy. But I wish I was treated like that as a kid. but yeah, I mean, just wanted to end it off in a little funny story. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. Trying to grow this as big as we can. This is something I'm super passionate about. The first episode now to now, I feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, this is something I'm getting more comfortable with. So I'm happy you guys are patient with me, and I appreciate that. But yeah, have a good day, and we'll see you next episode.